Southeastern Wrestling. It's great to have you with us again. An action-packed hour coming your way. Our special guest commentator today will be the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller. A lot of action taking place throughout the Southeastern area, and is with much disgust and regret that I announce that the trophy presentation to Brad Armstrong for the NWA Rookie of the Year was broken up earlier today in the studio. I called Bob and Brad Armstrong out to our desk. The NWA had instructed me to cut a special interview with Brad Armstrong and his father that was to be played on all stations throughout the country that are under the sanctioning of the National Wrestling Alliance, with the announcement and interview with Brad Armstrong, the Rookie of the Year. While taping that incident, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose came out breaking that Rookie of the Year trophy. A lot of things have happened since then. A lot of discussions taken place. Challenges have been issued, and we'll be bringing you up to date on that situation a little bit later on in the program. You'll also see that incident. International Sports Incorporated, through the sanctioning of the NWA, has now barred the use of the heart punch in wrestling matches throughout the Southeastern wrestling area. It has been barred by International Sports Incorporated, Southeastern Wrestling, and of course that approving the stamp of the National Wrestling Alliance, no longer to be used in this area. A lot of action coming your way today. A lot of singles action. The NWA Rookie of the Year will be in action, Brad Armstrong. Also, the big Texan Ron Bass against Lee Welch. Mr. Saito takes on Australian superstar Bill Dundee. A lot of action coming your way. Certainly hope you'll make your plans to stay with us for the next hour on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Let's go to the ring now for our first match of the day. This event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing at 218 pounds from Dothan, Alabama, Ray Harris. Ray Harris. His opponent at 230 pounds, one half of the Southeastern Tag Champions, Randy Rose. Randy Rose taking on Ray Harris, our opening match on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Al Roberts taking a bit of a vacation this week, and I asked to join me as a guest commentator to help out on the commentary, the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller. Ron, always great to have you at the desk. And
thank you very much, Charlie. It's my pleasure. Always a pleasure for me to be able to sit this close and watch the action.
We discussing just a minute ago, Ron, some situations taking place. I think a lot of people very pleased with the ruling of International Sports Incorporated about the use of the heart punch. It has been banned because of the incident that took place last week on this television program.
Well, Charlie, I think it needed to be banned for sure. It's a very, very dangerous move. Bob Armstrong was injured last week with it. A lot of other people have been hurt with it. And I think it's about time that the NWA and International Sports did something about it. But I'd also like to say, I think this match here was originally scheduled to have been a tag match, and Ray Harris's partner was hurt. And Condrey Rose, after the little thing earlier today where they broke Brad Armstrong's Rookie of the Year trophy, decided that they'd just soon have a single match. They wanted to prove that either one of them can do it as a single as well as a tag, and I think there's a lot to be said for them as a team. I think they're one of the outstanding teams in the United States, and I certainly thought that what they did to Brad Armstrong earlier today concerning his trophy was a disgusting thing.
I tell you what, something, I don't mean to interrupt you, but something that comes to my mind with the International Sports Incorporated coming down hard on some of the uncalled for action taking place with the ban of the hard punch. I'm sure that when the board of directors of International Sports Incorporated view the tape that we'll all see today on what happened when we were taping that for the National Wrestling Alliance to go to all the stations, the breaking of that trophy, I'm sure that Mr. Condrey and Mr. Rose will be dealt with properly.
Well, I certainly hope so. They sure deserve it, Charlie. That's a terrible thing to have happen to Brad Armstrong. That's quite an honor for a young man to win the National Wrestling Alliance Rookie of the Year award, and to have them bust that trophy for him while he's being presented to him. I know that the NWA is not going to be very happy about that when they see that particular piece of film. Condrey and Rose are a tough combination, like I said before, though, and right there you can see a hammerlock, the use of a hammerlock. There was a couple of reversals, and Rose ended up coming up with a hammerlock, took his man over, and now he's got a head scissor. Both of them are darn good wrestlers, Charlie. They are very capable athletes in that ring, and team, they're even better, I believe.
I tell you what, Ron, what you can see in these two individuals, we see them using a lot of shortcut tactics, win any way they can, but something you've got to hand to them, they are both very capable wrestlers in that squared circle.
Well, that's for sure. Right here you can see it. Right here you can see that suplex out of the headlock there, and that's a belly to back, and that's a very, very punishing move. At this point, you can bet that Rose is in real command. I look for him to really press this advantage. Oh, my, what a clothesline that was. That took Harris's head off.
Now there you see punishment being inflicted by
Rose. Well, that's what they enjoy, you know, and I think this is what they'd like to see Brad Armstrong get a little bit of, and I believe that they'd be very surprised at what Brad Armstrong can do as a single wrestler with either one of them. I'd look forward to seeing that match myself. You can see there, Rose has got that front face lock and taking his man down. At this point, he's got also an arm there, which cuts his wind off. There's a little reversal and underneath, and he's into a pinning combination here. This cuts a man's wind off, Charlie, and when you ride high on top of a guy like this, you can't get any air, and you've already been clotheslined, and you've been belly to back supleed, you're in trouble. You can bet that Harris is in trouble at this point. Rose is in real control here. Power slam.
Power slam.
Very well done, too. Right back to that front face lock, which is a smart move. Rose is staying with what's working for him right now. He gives the man a little bit of punishment. He goes right back to that front face lock again. There you see a beautiful move there. He hooked that leg as he's taking him over. That's an amateur pinning combination there. Wasn't able to execute it just right, or he would have had a pin there for sure. Here he goes for three-quarter Nelson, and he flipped him there again. Rose is displaying a good knowledge of wrestling. Well, there's not much wrestling in that particular move.
Hip toss takedown with that side headlock. Now Harris
seems to be enjoying that. Harris went for that head scissors there. You can just see the power of Rose. He's so strong that Harris wasn't able to pull him off with that head scissors. He just tenaciously hung on to that headlock, and at this point, he's really put Harris through some rough maneuvers already. He's just now controlling his man, and I think just trying to wear him down a little bit more.
Rose with the side headlock in control, as Ron just said.
Russian leg sweep. He didn't get real close underneath him there. He'd have really damaged him on that one. And there again, he pulled him up. You see several times, Charlie, that he could have pinned him, I believe, and he pulled him up. They just both enjoy. They really enjoy punishing their opponent.
Indeed.
Now he's in back there, and he's got kind of a chin lock, which there again keeps the pressure on that neck and head. A little bit of rabbit punches behind the neck.
Pulls his man up.
Oh, beautiful move there.
That's it. That is it, and your winner, one half of the Southeastern Tag Champions, Randy Rose. And Ron will be joining us again in a few moments. As we say, Ron Fuller, our guest commentator today on Southeastern Championship. We sure appreciate him coming out. Bob and Brad Armstrong are joining me now. And, gentlemen, I don't really know what to say about what took place a little earlier here today. For you, Brad, it's very disgusting.
Well, it was to me, especially since we looked forward to it. You know, we got the word a week ago that the presentation would be made today.
Well, we're going to make the presentation in the ring on the show, but before the show was taped today, yesterday, the NWA, I got a call from the secretary of the NWA saying, before you tape your television wrestling tomorrow, sometime during the day, Charlie, could you please take Brad and get an interview with him? We will want to dub this down and send it to all stations under the sanctioning of the National Wrestling Alliance across the country so that everybody in America could see the NWA Rookie of the Year for 1981. Quite disgusting what happened, and without saying anything else, let's go now to back into the studios earlier today and see the incident on the NWA Rookie of the Year trophy. Born and raised in Marietta, Georgia, attended high school in Georgia, and graduated from Gulf Breeze High School in Pensacola, Florida. He accelerated in all areas of sports. On July 4th of last year, he entered professional wrestling after extensive coaching and training from his father. It's my privilege to introduce to you the NWA Rookie of the Year for 1981, Brad Armstrong. Congratulations, Brad.
Thank you very much, Charlie. You know, this has got to be the highlight of my professional wrestling career so far, and it means more to me than anybody will ever know, because in 1967, my dad won the same award as Rookie of the Year, and I think we're the first father and son to ever do this, and that it just thrills me. It's the utmost. I can't express. It's just hard to say.
I can understand that, and I know a fellow that must be awfully proud of you.
Okay, like Brad says, it's hard to express. You know, the trophy is a material thing, but you feel it in your heart. Like he said, 14 years ago I won it, and never did I dream at that time I'd have a son to come along and win it. We are the first father and son team ever to win the National Wrestling Alliance.
Hey, hold it. We're tired of getting all this crap. You're not capable of being Rookie of the Year, Brad Armstrong. Either one of us could beat you in 5 minutes.
Just put the trophy down and we'll talk about it. Okay?
You want it down? You want it down? Get it.
I just want to say this, Charlie. Let me say, I'm feeling a little squeamish right now, but I want to say this to Condrey Rose. The first thing they did was come out here screaming and hollering that he shouldn't have the Rookie of the Year trophy. They said that either one of them could beat Brad in 10 minutes or less. Well, maybe they can and maybe they can't, but the trophy belonged to Brad. He won it, he earned it, and it should never have been broken. And as far as that's concerned, I'd be willing for him to wrestle either one of them, but every time you wrestle one, there's interference. If you see one, you see the other. Now, they might say the same thing about me, but the thing is, you know, they did not have to break the trophy. They didn't work hard for it. They didn't earn it. You know, Brad suffered 2 separated shoulders the first month he wrestled. I figured he'd quit right then, but he kept on. He kept on wrestling. He would not quit.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. I got something to say to you, Bob Armstrong. You always trying and you always betting aching about. Wait just a minute. You always talk about interference. We've got a solution for the problem in here. If you got it, you'll be told to one corner, your time to be changed to the other corner, and I'll take this little push here, and I'll beat him in 5 minutes. Wait a minute. Now, you got enough guts or not?
What are you saying?
You be handcuffed in one corner, my car's in the other corner, and I'll be over here in less than 5 minutes. You got it. Okay, that's all you want to know.
What he said, Charlie, was because of the interference that I was talking about, he said if we had any guts at all, that if we had enough guts, that they'd handcuff me to one side of the ring, they'd handcuff one of the cousins to the other side of the ring, so there would be no interference. Now, Brad, are you sure you want to do that?
Exactly right. I'll take either one of them. I don't care which one of them.
Don't get excited, son. I'll tell you what. He don't care which one. Let them do whatever they want to do. If they'll handcuff themselves first, and I can see that, then I'll handcuff because I know Brad's got confidence, and he wants to get at him after that.
Okay, so this situation is certainly out of hand, and I regret everything that's happened here today, Bob. But I just want to instill in the people's mind after what the uncalled for mannerisms by Condrey and Rose, I think we've lost the whole point that them coming out and showing themselves in the manner that they have. The fact remains that the NWA Rookie of the Year for 1981 is Brad Armstrong. Congratulations once again, Brad. And we'll be back with more of Southeastern Wrestling in just a moment. 30 p.m., the first Alabama Super Bowl of wrestling and a $15,000 bounty match. Ron Fuller takes on the Bounty Hunter, managed by Jimmy Golden. For the Southeastern title, Mr. Saito defends against Mr. Wrestling number 2. Southeastern tag title, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose take on Ken Lucas and Mr. Olympia. Alabama title, Indian strap match rules, Jimmy Golden takes on Ray Candy. For the U.S. Junior title, Stan Lane goes against Brad Armstrong. And a special Southern Street Fight match, Bob Armstrong takes on Ron Bass, plus a special added event. Dennis Condrey goes against Brad Armstrong, Bob Armstrong, and Randy Rose handcuffed in the corners. 7 matches in all. The Alabama Super Bowl of Wrestling, Monday night, Valpo Auditorium in Birmingham. And on Monday night, Brad Armstrong not only gets his chance at revenge on Condrey and Rose, but also a chance at the U.S. Junior title of Stan Lane. Let's hear his comments.
Yes, I got a little slack once, and I dropped this strap. It'll never happen again. You've got my word on that, Brad Armstrong. You've made a very big mistake, sweetheart.
Brad Armstrong, you're going to start the night off bad and finish it up worse. And same for your daddy. Your daddy went around and got my heart punch banned. The people say you can't use it no more, Bass. But remember, Armstrong, it's a Texas street fight, my friend. Anything goes, belts, boots, and heart punch, my friend, goes. After we get through successfully defending our championship belts against Lucas and Jerry Stubbs, you're going to go in against Brad. He's crying about his trophy. He's crying about everything. Everybody's crying. I want to be handcuffed to one rope. Daddy's going to be handcuffed to the other, and we're going to watch Daddy cry over his son.
He's going to cry, all right, because there's nothing your old man can do to help you, Brad Armstrong. The only thing he can do is just sit there and watch the slaughter take place right in front of him.
Brad, Monday night.
You know, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose came out here, and they ruined the best thing that ever happened to me in my wrestling career. They killed it. And one of them, I don't care which one, either one of them, it doesn't matter, is going to find out how much that trophy meant to me.
Bob, a lot of heavy things taking place.
A lot of heavy stuff, man. Super Bowl time. Bass, we got a street fight. I'm going to have my jeans and my boots, and we're going to go to it, and I'm going to break your head. And after that happens, I'm going to handcuff myself in, because I got confidence in Brad. He's got something that you don't have, Condrey Rose, and that's a lot of heart and a lot of guts. And we're going to be in Birmingham to show you what Armstrong means. When you leave that ring, you'll be saying Mr. Armstrong at the Super Bowl in Birmingham. Count on it.
7 big matches in all this coming Monday night in Bothwell Auditorium, the first annual Alabama Super Bowl of Wrestling. It takes place in Bothwell Auditorium, Birmingham, Alabama, at 8:30 Monday night.
Got to wait long to do it.
There's wrestling on Friday night in Evergreen, Alabama, the high school gymnasium. Match time there will be 8:30. And a lot of excitement, Ron Fuller, throughout the Southeastern wrestling area, what with International Sports Incorporated now promoting this week Super Bowls of wrestling throughout the Southeastern area. The great array of talent coming into the area in different towns. You'll see stars like Ken Lucas, Mr. Olympia. Superstar Tommy Rich will be in the Southeastern wrestling area. Ernie the Cat Ladd, and that brings to mind your situation. You are in these Super Bowls, and that $15,000 bounty is up.
Well, that's right, Charlie. There's a lot of people involved, a lot of matches. I'd like to compliment International Sports Incorporated. They've put together, I think, the greatest wrestling cards that's ever been seen in the South, anywhere in the South. And there's a lot of wrestlers. The Bounty Hunter, that's a masked man from up north. There's several people. Mr. Wrestling #2, as you've said, Ernie Ladd, Tommy Rich, a tremendous array of wrestling talent. And I'm involved in some of these matches. Golan's been increasing this bounty, and he's put a lot of money up now, and we're beginning to see some wrestlers from other parts of the country come in here trying to collect this money. And like I've said before, I've told Golan he's wasting his time. I don't care who it is, whether it's Ernie the Cat Ladd or the Bounty Hunter or who it is, anywhere on any given night. I'm going to keep my health. I'm going to be wrestling in this area a long time to come. And, you know, Charlie, the bounty can work two ways. I've said all along that I think it's a disgusting thing, this bounty. But I may just consider putting one on you before this whole thing is over, Jimmy Golan. And I'd just like to say that of everybody that's going to benefit and everybody that's going to enjoy the Super Bowls, these Super Bowls are going to be something spectacular for the wrestling fans in this part of the country.
Super Bowls of wrestling, as put up by International Sports Incorporated throughout the Southeastern wrestling area. Ladies and gentlemen, this event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. One fall, 10 minutes. Introducing at 208 pounds from Marietta, Georgia, the NWA Rookie of the Year for 1981, Brad Armstrong. His opponent at 200 pounds from parts unknown, the Raider. One fall, 10-minute time limit, Brad Armstrong, Rookie of the Year, taking on the Raider. And, Ron, you can say a lot. Just trying to put out of your mind for a moment what has happened here today. with this Rookie of the Year trophy. Some comments made by Condrey and Rose that he was undeserving, but for a man to be in professional wrestling for less than a year and for 2 times to hold the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship, I don't think anyone else could deserve the Rookie of the Year.
Well, you can see right there, Charlie, there's a fine example of Brad Armstrong's ability. Jumped over the man there and gave him a couple of real nice drop kicks, and Brad Armstrong's very deserving of the Rookie of the Year as far as I'm concerned. He's already held the United States Junior Heavyweight Championship. Him and his father held the Southeastern Tag Championships. For a young man of his age to have already held 2 championships, I think that'd make any young man deserving in his first year of wrestling being Rookie of the Year. I'd also like to say I heard this challenge that Condrey and Rose made just a minute ago, and I'm trying to get this straight in my mind exactly what went on there, Charlie. It seemed to me that they challenged, Condrey challenged Brad Armstrong for a single event. Is that not what happened? And he said that at the same time, Randy Rose would handcuff himself in one corner to prevent any interference with Bob Armstrong would handcuff himself in another.
That'll be the situation, Ron. That will be
ought to be very interesting. I think that'll give Brad Armstrong a chance to prove that he definitely deserves the Rookie of the Year honor.
Indeed. Beretta going for that elbow.
Brad's right steady on right there. Got his eyes open. He's really awake. He's doing a great job in there. He's really controlling, commanding this match at this point.
With the arm bar on the Raider, Brad Armstrong pulling up, applying that pressure. And I'll tell you what, Ron, you've been in matches all over this country and throughout many other countries. How long has it been since you've seen a greater array of talent coming into one area than you see right here in the Southeastern area?
I don't think there's any finer wrestling anywhere in the world, Charlie, than there is right here in the Southeastern area now. And I know that Golden, I despise this bounty thing that he's doing, but I know that there's going to be a lot of people coming into this part of the country. There's a lot of money-hungry wrestlers in this country, and it's an awful easy way to make a good night's work, you know, coming in and hurting somebody, taking $10,000, $15,000 out of it with you. It's a big thing, no doubt about it.
Right now in the ring, Brad Armstrong still in control over the Raider. The NWA Rookie of the Year for 1981. And certainly something for all of us affiliated with Southeastern Wrestling and International Sports Incorporated to be proud of. I can remember the first night Brad Armstrong had his first professional match less than 1 year ago.
Well, that's right. You know, this is his rookie year, and I think he's the finest rookie in America, finest rookie in the world, probably. It's a real nice lean lift, a lot of power in that one. Nice forearm there, and I think Brad's really going after this match with a pension here, you know. He's really after his man. I think he's out to prove something to Condrey and Rose right here.
For the pin.
And I believe he's just about done it, too.
It's over. The point has been made. And the winner, the Rookie of the Year for 1981 from the National Wrestling Alliance, Brad Armstrong. Our personality profile coming up next on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Stay with us. Personality profile segment of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. We'll be discussing Super Bowls of pro wrestling coming up here in the Southeastern Wrestling area. My guest today, Brad Armstrong, along with Ray the Candyman Candy. And gentlemen, a lot of things happening here in the Southeastern Wrestling area, a lot of important rule-making decisions by International Sports Incorporated. And at the start of today's profile, let me say that I am very sorry for what an incident that has happened here earlier today when we were trying to present the NWA Rookie of the Year trophy to your son, Bob.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. I appreciate that. We're awfully sorry about it, too, because it meant a lot to us.
Indeed.
And it would take 2 individuals like Condrey and Rose to do such a thing, because Brad has worked hard. You know, he started in this profession July the 4th, and he started his first match in Montgomery, Alabama. Since then, he's had 2 dislocated shoulders. He's broken his collarbone. He's had neck and back injuries. And personally, I thought he would quit. I thought that, you know, this is a lot for a young man to take, but he kept on, and he showed me he had a lot of heart and a lot of guts. And, brother, I'm real proud of him, and we were real proud of that trophy. And as you know, I won that trophy in 1967, 14 years ago, and we're the first father and son ever to win the Rookie of the Year award. and maybe won't be the last, but so far we've made history, and it made us real proud. The trophy meant an awful lot, not just the trophy itself, but the feeling, and for them to come out and do something like that. But as you know, the challenge has been made, and they've said that they can beat Brad, either one of them, and Brad wanted to take both of them, and I can understand his feelings after seeing that trophy broken. And what we've come up with is a handcuff match because of all the interference. You know, you see one cousin, you're going to see the other one. One gets in trouble, you're going to see the other one, and I'm the same way about Brad, I can't deny it. And they made the challenge with these handcuffs here that you see me holding in my hand. They said if I had enough guts to handcuff myself on one side of that ring, that they'd handcuff one of themselves on the other side of the ring, and Brad could take one of the cousins on. Now, that's fine with us. We're going to show them just how much guts Brad got. I know he's overmatched, he's outweighed, but they've done something to hurt this boy's heart. And when you do that, you got to pay the price. And we're going to see just what happens when all this comes about.
Speaking of, I'm sure that International Sports Incorporated will indeed look into this situation. I'm sure fines, possible suspensions might be levied against Mr. Condrey and Mr. Rose for that outbreak today. Also, the heart punch. Let's discuss that just for a moment. You suffered an injury last week on this television program. After viewing the tape, the NWA and International Sports Incorporated viewed the tape. That heart punch is now banned in the Southeastern wrestling area.
Well, I'm real happy about it because I wouldn't want anybody, I mean, I don't care how small or how big, to feel the pain that I felt here on TV last week. You know, it's like I said before, a move like that, it makes you wonder about your life. You don't very seldom think about, am I going to live or am I going to die? But I was really worried for one of the first times in my life. I don't want anybody else to have it. I'm glad they outlawed the heart punch, Mr. Bass. I'm glad they outlawed that. And another thing, talking about Bass, you know, he's challenged me to a Southern street fight. He's real upset, said I got his heart punch banned. I had nothing to do with it. The Board of Regents of International Sports Incorporated saw the film, and they chose to do that. Because, you know, I know where the heart is, too. But I'm not that kind of man. So we're going to have a Southern street fight, Bass and I. And after this Southern street fight's over, if there's anything left of either one of us, then I'm going to darn sure be there beside my son. I'll be handcuffed there, and I can watch and coach. I can't do anything about it, but neither can either one of the cousins.
I'll tell you what, something else, Bob. Jimmy Golden's still causing quite a bit of waves. I know with Ray Candy in that Alabama State Championship. Also, these bounties that are being put up all around the area. Before we talk to Ray about this situation with he and Jimmy Golden, let's get some comments from Jimmy Golden, Ron Bass, and Rose and Condrey.
Ray Candy, let me tell you something, sonny boy. Ain't no man alive going to be able to keep Jimmy Golden down because I am the Alabama heavyweight state champion. That means that I am the best in the state of Alabama. And not you, not no strap, not no fat belly of yours from eating all that candy going to be able to keep me down because I'm just too lean and too mean and too fast for you, sonny boy. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to wear your butt out in that ring, strap, fat belly, candy, and all. Now to some real important things. Ron Fuller, let me tell you something. You see all this money right here, boy? That's $15,000. I had to beg, borrow, steal, scrape my fingers to the bone to get all this money. But it's going to be worth every dime of it to see you go in the hospital. I got the bounty hunters coming.
You know, Bob Armstrong, you think you pulled off a big coup. You've got my heart punch banned. I can't use it anymore. The NWA and International Sports says, Bass, that finishing move that you got called a heart punch, no more. But I'm going to tell you something, Bob Armstrong. I'm a smart man. There's ways that I can always work around rules, and that's what I'll do. And a Texas street fight is just one of them, Bob Armstrong. So look out. The heart punch will rain, my friend.
And there you hear the comments of Ron Bass along with Jimmy Golden, of course, the Condrey and Rose situation, and you have that strap matchup coming.
Well, let me say something real brief, Charlie. You know, in the short time I've been here, you know, I've learned to hate this man, Jimmy Golden. He's always running, and you got to have some way to stop him, and that's what this is, an Indian strap match where two men are tied together. Can't nobody run from nobody. You got to stay there and battle it out. So, Jimmy Golden, you remember that.
A lot of big controversies taking place, Bob, and a lot of things should be decided here in the Southeastern wrestling area within the next week. Once again, your son Brad will get his chance at revenge against the team. And you hurt one, you hurt both of Condrey and Rose with that outbreak of what happened with the NWA Rookie of the Year trophy. That's our profile for today. Ladies and gentlemen, this event won fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing at 224 pounds from Oklahoma, Roy Welch. His opponent, 290 pounds from Pampa, Texas, Ron Bass. The big man from Texas back in the arenas. Here in our studio, Ron Bass taking on Roy Welch. And more action on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Upcoming a good television main event today. I tell you.
Certainly is. I'm certainly looking forward to it, Charlie. Saito is going to be meeting the superstar himself, Bill Dundee. And that should be a tremendous match. I've seen Dundee. He'll be outweighed and he'll be outpowered, but I don't think he'll be outfought. This Dundee really gives that Saito a go for his money, I believe. And that's upcoming, right? That's the next match. And I'm not going to sit in with you on that one, Charlie, because I'm afraid I'll get myself in trouble. I'm going to let you take care of that one yourself.
I tell you what, superstar Bill Dundee from Australia. He makes his first appearance here in our television studio.
Bass there is still having some trouble, Charlie, with that hand that Bob put that chain around and stomped real good for him. And he's got that glove on or whatever that thing is. I'm not sure about that. But I'm certainly glad to see that the international sports did outlaw the hard punch. I think that's a very dangerous move, and I think it's going to prevent a lot of injuries.
Series of reversals there. Welch and Bass with the arm twist.
Roy Welch is a fine competitor, too, Charlie. He's a great man in the ring. He comes from a wrestling family, and he can certainly take care of himself in that square circle.
Bass coming in.
I think he just caught him with that shoulder to his shoulder there. He just slowed Roy down a little bit. I think Roy was trying to move out of that turnbuckle, but he didn't make it in time. Bass has got surprising speed for a man of that size. He'll be on you before you know it.
290 pounds from Tampa, Texas. And wait a minute.
Out there, and he's trying to ease around there and use a little variation of the hard punch, I believe. Right here. Yeah, I think the fans were on him so close there that they brought it to the referee's attention, kept Bass from getting his shot in there.
That punch has been banned here in the Southeastern Wrestling area. Again, Bass.
Yeah, you can see the referee doing a great job there. He's moving right in there, and he's protecting Roy's sternum area as much as possible there. You can see what a disadvantage Roy Welch is in that position with his arm behind his back. This is a bad position to be in, Charlie. Roy's, unless he can get underneath Bass's weight there and reverse that, he's not going to be able to do much.
And Welch,
good shot.
That shoulder. Now he's coming out of it.
That's good. I'm glad to see it. And he almost knocked Bass completely out of the ring there. Great elbow.
Now Bass raking across the eyes of Welch. Takes his man in, and there's that hard elbow.
What an elbow that was, right in the side of the face. You can see here, he's trying to go for that hard punch, and the referee's blocking it there. That's an automatic DQ right there. I think Bass is very upset because the referee stopped his hard punch there. I think he really wanted to hit Roy Welch with that hard punch.
The winner of the match on the disqualification will be Roy Welch.
That's good.
Welch, your winner.
I'm glad to see that.
Bass taking his man over the top rope. Bass having some problems, I think, adjusting to the situation that he can no longer use that hard punch. It has been banned here in the Southeastern Wrestling area. Joining me now, a couple of great competitors in singles action, and they're making one heck of a tag team combination here in the Southeastern Wrestling area and all across the country. Now we're talking about Mr. Olympia and Ken Lucas, and you two gentlemen are hot on the heels of the Southeastern Tag Champions.
Well, that's true, Tony Platt. You know they've done a lot of things to me, to Brad Armstrong, to Bob Armstrong, and I got me a partner to help me in Ken Lucas, and I got all my faith right in Ken Lucas because, you know, we made ourselves a good team. Probably one of the best teams that Rose and Condrey have faced.
Indeed. Let's go into the arenas now and take a look at some action that maybe you, Mr. Olympia, could explain. In tag action, Ken Lucas and Mr. Olympia against the tag combination of Rose and Condrey.
Well, that's true. You know, right here, a tag match against Rose and Condrey. And See, what this is, it was supposed to be Rose and Condrey. Well, I guess most of the people saw what happened on TV between myself and Rose when I hit him with a board.
Exactly right.
All right.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
There, Charlie, he's not right. He's not here in this match, so Condrey either had to forfeit the belts or wrestle both of them. So he finally agreed to wrestle both of them. When he agreed, myself and Ken Lucas, you know, if it had been us in the other shoe, they would have wanted to wrestle one of us, right?
Right.
Well, right here, I catch him in the sleeper that Ken's been teaching me, and right here, he makes it to the ropes. I didn't quite have him in the middle of the ring. Well, I tag Ken, and I tell him to do the same thing. Right here, he puts it right on him. All right, let me point out something here. I'm cheering Ken Lucas on, and, you know, when I hit Randy Rose so hard with that board on TV, and he went out like a light. And I didn't think he was there in the ring. Well, right here, Ken's putting Dennis out. Well, I think that the people are cheering him to put him out. Well, that's when Randy Rose snuck up behind me and hit me with a board. And right here, Charlie Platt, I didn't know if I was alive. I didn't even know my name.
Ken, there was a situation where you thought you had the match won with that sleeper.
Yes, I sure did. And, you know, you seen right there that they caught Olympia from behind with that board, and then they worked over me and got me with a good shot coming off the ropes. And right now they're trying to take off Olympia's mask. And, you know, Charlie, these two guys are very, very tough guys. They're very smart. They know what they're doing in the ring. And myself and Olympia found out one thing. You make no mistakes with these guys here. And I'll tell you one thing for sure. We are hot on their trail, and I'll guarantee you one thing for sure. We've got one thing in mind, is to get them any way we can, and we're going to take those belts sooner or later. And as far as some of these matches, like they're having a handcuff match and everything, they may not make it, right, Jerry?
That's right. You know, even if they do make it, Charlie Platt, we're going to do our best to soften them up for Brad Armstrong, because, you know, Brad's mad, and he can take care of himself. I've taught him a lot of stuff Ken has and Bob has, and I guarantee he can handle himself. But, you know, just like Ken said, they may not make it to the handcuff matches.
Thank you very much. The comments of Mr. Olympia and Ken Lucas, and we'll be back with more of Southeastern Wrestling in just a moment. The Alabama Super Bowl of Wrestling this coming Monday night, Baffle Auditorium in Birmingham, Alabama. An all-star card, 7 big matches, $15,000 bounty match, Ron Fuller against the Bounty Hunter. Southeastern title, Mr. Saito defends against Mr. Wrestling number 2. The Southeastern tag titles of Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose go on the line against Ken Lucas and Mr. Olympia. Let's hear the comments of the champions.
You know, Lucas and Jerry Stubbs, the Halloween reject. This is your last chance, boys, and you better make it good, which we know you won't. We're going to successfully defend these titles. When the smoke clears the ring, we're going to be standing victory. Then I'm going to go in here, we're handcuffed against the rope. Right on the other side is going to be old Papa watching his son get the hell beat right out to him.
You know, cuz Brad Armstrong got upset because we accidentally dropped his trophy and broke it. Well, he should know the accidents do happen, because there's an accident he won the trophy to start with. Now, the bad thing about it is the old man's going to have to stand over there and watch the slaughter take place right in front of his eyes.
Mr. Olympia?
Well, you know, there's a lot of people that Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey has done a lot of things too. And I'm one of them. Brad Armstrong is a victim. Bob Armstrong's a victim. Now, I got Ken Lucas as a partner, and we're going to be in Birmingham. And Rose and Condrey, boys, you're talking about what's going to happen after you get through with myself and Ken Lucas. You got to get through us first. You're not through with us yet, and we're darn not through with you. You can bet on it.
Ken?
We're holding the belts 4 times. You know, we realize they're a very, very tough team, and they have done a lot of damage to a lot of people and hurt them. But I'll tell you one thing for sure, that myself, Olympia, is going to come there and give them 100%. Charlie, we got something in our mind to take those belts, and I'm going to say one thing for you. If we beat them, we're going to deserve it, because I tell you what, we're going to have our hands full.
It's the Alabama Super Bowl of Wrestling, 7 big matches in all. It takes place this coming Monday night in Birmingham's Baffle Auditorium. The main event, $15,000 bounty match, Ron Fuller against the Bounty Hunter. about to join us now, a man that's still making quite a bit of controversy in the area, Jimmy Golden.
Well, we're taking care of business. Ain't nobody going to do nothing about the bounty match, but except for the man that puts Ron Fuller in the hospital, and when he does, he's going to get $15,000. I have upraised the bounty because I want you to know that Ron Fuller is a liar, a cheat, a backstabber, and a hypocrite. He'll do anything to get this. He'll do anything. You got a film. I want you to see the film. That's going to explain to everybody why I'm up the bounty to $15,000, and if I have to, I'll go further.
Okay, let's take a look at the videotape.
Ron Fuller, that you see him there on the outside out with Saito, he just came around and ran my face into that corner post. I was bleeding for no reason at all. I got a manager's license. I didn't bother nobody. He came out there and hit on me. I didn't bother him. And Ron Fuller, that's the reason that I have upped the bounty to $15,000. And somebody's going to get you if it's the last thing I do, sonny boy. You going down. Look at him, humiliating me, embarrassing me. I'm bleeding in the face. They're taking their turn holding me, beating me more in the face. But it's going to be your time, Ron Fuller. It's your time right now. It's your time today, boy, and you're going to get it. You're going to get it right there. Saito had the man beat with a sleeper hold. There comes Fat Boy, old Candy Man, eating all that candy, going to hit everybody in the head with a chair. Look at, you tell me, Charlie Platt, if this is justice or what? I'll say it is not. Ron Fuller and the Candy Man, as low as dirt, trash. There ain't a hole big enough for neither one of them, and boy, I'm going to get you $15,000, baby. Come and get it, Ron Fuller!
And the comments of a very irate Jimmy Golden, and still possessed of this bounty situation. I tell you what, let's go to the ring now. Our television main event about to get underway. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing at 210 pounds from Australia, superstar Bill Dundee. His opponent, 245 from Japan, Mr. Saito. And we're ready for action. Television main event. You can feel the electricity in the crowd. Superstar Bill Dundee making his first appearance here at Southeastern Championship Wrestling. And what a record this young athlete has. Collar and elbow, center of the ring, over on the ropes. Saito, former Olympic champion from Japan. Spins right out. There's that leg sweep. Good takedown by Saito. And from behind, it's a ride. Saito locking up the leg. Collared elbow again. Saito going quick. Leg sweep takedown. What power and maneuvers this Saito has. Dundee now. Dundee now going back in. Good, quick arm drag takedown. He bars that left arm of Saito. Almost a Cornish eye takedown. Chinlock by Saito. Good way out by Dundee. He has the hammerlock, drops that knee in. Now, controlling the right arm of Saito, and Saito goes to the ropes as a means of a break. Collar and elbow again. Front chancery, quick. Maneuver almost into a neck breaker position. Modification by Saito. Two great wrestlers in the ring now. Known all around the world. Bill Dundee against Saito, sweeping that leg. Good takedown. Saito looking for some means of escape. Dundee bringing it around. Bring it around into the bone. Trying to go for the Boston Crab. Pressure being applied. Saito pulling the tights. Now ties up that left leg. Controlling the left leg, but look at that move. Bill Dundee. What a wrestler. Wait a minute. Ron Fuller has come up, and he nails Jimmy Golden. Wait a minute. Saito helping Golden gather his money together. That's it. 10 count, and your winner from Australia, superstar Bill Dundee. Jimmy Golden, caught from behind by Ron Fuller, leaves him in a very bad situation. Your winner of the match, count out on the floor, was Bill Dundee, and we'll be back in just a moment. The first Alabama Super Bowl of wrestling in a $15,000 bounty match. Ron Fuller takes on the Bounty Hunter, managed by Jimmy Golden. For the Southeastern title, Mr. Saito defends against Mr. Wrestling number 2. Southeastern tag title, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose take on Ken Lucas and Mr. Olympia. Alabama title, Indian strap match rules, Jimmy Golden takes on Ray Candy. For the U.S. Junior title, Stan Lane goes against Brad Armstrong. In a special Southern street fight match, Bob Armstrong takes on Ron Bass, plus a special added event. Dennis Condrey goes against Brad Armstrong, Bob Armstrong, and Randy Rose handcuffed in the corners. 7 matches in all. The Alabama Super Bowl of Wrestling, Monday night, Balboa Auditorium in Birmingham. Certainly the biggest in the history of Birmingham, the Super Bowl, this coming Monday night in Balboa Auditorium. Let's hear the comments of Jimmy Golden.
Super Bowl, it's going to be of wrestling, and all the super winners like Saito, myself, is going to be doing all the winning and kicking all the butts. And I'm going to start with you, fat boy, candy man, old sweetness. I'm going to beat you in your strap match, and just for a little extra added attraction, I'm going to take that strap off when I get through, and I'm going to whip your butt with that, and you still going to be calling me master. And then as far as for you, Mr. Wrestling number 2, you ain't seen the day, you ain't seen the match at the time that you meet Mr. Saito, the Southeastern champion.
You don't listen, Mr. Wrestling number 2. I know you, I fight, how wrestling, I know everything. But this time, I put the slipper on you. I take off the mask. I show you ugly face. You cry, spit glass.
Very good. Now, Mr. Fuller, and I'm going to tell you something else. Everybody knows that I've been telling the truth when I called you a liar and a cheat and a stealer. You stole part of my money. I don't know how much, but you're going to pay, because I got the man, the bounty hunter from Canada that breaks legs, does all that kind of business for money, and I got $15,000 to persuade him with. Get ready for it.
Ray?
Jimmy Golden don't know his butt can get whooped too. You know, this is an Indian strap match. That means 2 of us are tied together. And wherever Jimmy Golden runs to, he take me with him. And I don't think he's going to like that too well. Jimmy Golden, you be ready, because I'm going to get that title.
Ron?
Yeah, I think Ray's going to get that title too. And I think that Mr. Wrestling, too, is going to get him a title. Everybody in Birmingham knows what he's capable of, and he's going to show you, Saito. And Jimmy Golden, I took part of your money. That's right. I've already put it in my pocket, and I plan on spending it. And not only that, you spent a lot of money to bring this bounty hunter down from Canada or wherever he's from. He's wasting his time, Golden. He's going to win no money here, and there will be a mask come off Monday night in Boutwell, and it'll be the bounty hunter's mask.
Super Bowl of Wrestling, Monday night, 8:30 in Balboa Auditorium. Certainly a lot of events taking place here on today's program, and earlier today with the incident, the trophy being broken by Condrey and Rose. Hopefully a ruling on that situation next week. A reminder that the heart punch has been outlawed throughout the Southeastern wrestling area. And a lot of excited people about these Super Bowls of pro wrestling coming to the area. It should be something to see. That bounty situation, of course, with Jimmy Golden and Ron Fuller continuing. Golden upping that to $15,000 now. A lot of action on today's program. Randy Rose, your winner over Ray Harris. Brad Armstrong, winner over the Raider. Roy Welch won on disqualification against Ron Bass. And in the last match, a count out on the floor, your winner, Superstar Bill Dundee. Thank you for joining us this week. Thanks to our director, Jerry Finn, and studio crew. We'll see you next week right here on Southeastern Championship Wrestling.